What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, leader of the handmadeandbeyond.com website and community. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, an Etsy expert, and business coach who's figured out how to make my entire living with my handmade business. Each week, I'll dive into strategies and success tips to help you with your handmade business, with Etsy, and everything in between. Let's dive in. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. Glad to be back with you guys as usual. Hopefully you're all doing awesome. Things are going well and your business is rocking and rolling. So I'm back with another good episode for you. And this one's kind of funny because the title, or at least I titled it, 5 Boring But Important Things You Need to Know When Selling on Etsy. So you're probably like, well, why the heck does he want to talk about boring stuff? Well, boring does not mean that it's not important, right? And oftentimes, more times than not, rather, the boring stuff is the most important stuff. It's the stuff that you need to be focused on the most in order to then be able to talk about or celebrate the exciting stuff. So it's like the iceberg effect, right? A lot of people like to talk about and focus on the top of the iceberg, what sticks out of the water, which is the success. It may be the hitting the top 1% of all Etsy sellers, or doing Etsy full time, or making $5,000 or $10,000 a month on Etsy. That is the exciting stuff. That's what people want to focus on, and that's good. And that's good. I focus on that a lot because we have to have our eye on the ball. The end game, the why, the success is usually playing into that. So it is important to talk about and focus on to keep us motivated, to keep us going, because running a business is hard. But below that iceberg is the getting up early before your 9 to 5 to work on Etsy, or coming home and working on Etsy, or taking your lunch breaks to work on your business, doing those extra trainings, investing, in your business with knowledge and consistency and all those things that play into the success, the top part of the iceberg, that are so important, but are often boring. No one, everyone likes the guy with the ripped abs, those pictures, right? No one wants to talk about him not eating anything, good, him eating broccoli and brown rice. People don't want to talk about that, but that is what it takes. And that's the hard stuff. And that's the not so cool stuff to talk about and to focus on. So I want to talk about some of the quote unquote boring stuff today. I'm going to give you 5 things to that I think you need to know, or at least focus on. Maybe you haven't thought about these things before. Maybe you have, but I'm going to come at you with them anyways. So the first one is you're going to have to put probably a lot more work into your Etsy business when you get started than you ever get out of it at the beginning. You got to start moving that boulder up the hill, and in order to move that boulder up the hill, it takes a lot of energy, and energy comes from what you're doing, the actions that you're taking, the consistency, all the things that you're doing day after day, hour after hour, week after week, month after month. That is what's going to start the momentum to start getting that boulder up the hill. But a lot of people get burnt out really fast because something, when they start a business, Etsy or not, it is exciting. It's invigorating. Maybe they tell their friends and family, but then that kind of peters out really, really fast when you realize, well, I'm spending a lot of hours on this. I'm spending 15 hours a week or 20 hours a week or more, and I'm not getting any sales. The sales aren't coming. People don't want to buy my thing. So then you get demotivated, you get frustrated. You may say, well, this doesn't work. Etsy doesn't work. It doesn't matter. Insert whatever into Etsy, whether you do your online business, brick and mortar, whatever you may be, it happens the same way. A lot of people don't keep that momentum and keep that energy up. But if you change your way of thinking, and you know that up front, that it is going to take that level of effort day after day for weeks, sometimes even years, to build that momentum, and you're ready for that. And not only that, you have a plan, because a lot of people too don't have a plan, so they're kind of floundering around too, which all that together creates that frustration, not knowing what to do, not having the right expectations, not having the right mindset, and then you just, like I said before, peter out and you stop focusing on it at all, and then your business goes stagnant, and then before you know it, you end up closing your shop or just letting it open, but it never gets any traction or any sales or anything like that. So that's why I want to tell you, make sure that you have that you know that at the beginning, you're prepared for it, along with the time, the hours that it's going to spend. But then focus on a plan and strategies to get your shop some momentum, get you to the next level, so you know what to do. That's why I started the Handmade and Beyond community. In there is the Etsy Success Roadmap to give people the plan to focus on specific strategies each and every day, week, month, wherever you're at in your business, that you can go in, so you know what you need to work towards, what you need to work for, so you're not just trying to figure it out as you go. So if you're not a member yet, you can get in there and get access to that roadmap, and it'll help you strategize and just get the right plan, because I've been there. I know how it is. It's frustrating when you don't know what to do. And not only that, maybe you are doing stuff and it's not making a difference. So I want to help you avoid all that stuff. The next thing that I want to talk about is make sure you understand Etsy's policies, right? A lot of people, especially newer sellers, they don't realize that Etsy has specific policies in place that is, to protect buyers, to protect sellers, but also it's just the way that Etsy is. They have certain policies that they abide by, such as, handmade versus non-handmade versus vintage stuff. That gets people in trouble. A handmade item should be designed and or created by you. So a lot of people will sell stuff that they didn't design or make. That's not handmade. That's just a manufactured sellable product. So Etsy is not Amazon. If you want to sell stuff like that, go to Amazon, but that can get you into trouble if they do the research and you didn't design it and you didn't make it. Now, you can have someone else design it and you can make it. That still is yours, or you can make it or design it and have someone else create it. You can have a production partner. That's fine. And then the other thing that gets people in trouble is just selling stuff that's not vintage. So maybe you didn't design it or make it. You can still sell on Etsy if it's vintage, which is older than 20 years. But if it's not older than 20 years, you're going to get yourself into trouble because it's not in accordance with Etsy's policies. The other big one is trademark infringement. If you're using either you're making or creating products that are trademarked, or you're using keywords that are trademarked. So if I go and make a Baby Yoda thing item, that is trademarked. That's Disney. Disney owns that. So you're playing with fire there. You're probably gonna get shut. At least that listing taken off. If all your stuff is trademarked, you may get your shop shut down pretty quick. So just make sure that it's not trademarked, whether you're making a trademarked item or you're using a keyword to try and drive traffic. Either way, it will get your listing and or shop shut down, depending on how blatant your trademark infringement is. So just make sure you understand your policies. That should go into how you're planning your business and what you're selling. You don't want to start off on the wrong foot. And you don't want to start off kind of playing with fire and doing stuff that's against Etsy's policies, just hoping you won't get caught. A lot of people are like, well, other people are doing it. Well, yeah, but they'll probably eventually get caught. Not to mention, do you really want to have that extra stress? Do you really want to be playing around with something that you know is against the policies and could get you shut down? It's really not worth it. There's a lot of different things that you can do that are within the guidelines, within the policies, and do very well. So make it your own, do your own thing, and just make sure you're following the policies and you understand. The next thing that I want to talk about is your branding, your shop branding. A lot of people don't think about this. I want to make money online. I'm just going to throw stuff out there, throw whatever against the wall. Well, you may be able to make money doing that, but you're going to kind of lose interest and not as be passionate about it. So really, you should be selling on Etsy because you're passionate about what you're doing. And with that passion comes your brand, your shop brand. What does your shop represent? Usually your brand is an extension of yourself. For most people, it's something that they enjoy, they're interested in, they like doing. So it's kind of an extension of yourself. And a lot of people think branding is just your logo and your color scheme. Yes, that's part of it, but your brand is really the lifeblood of your business. What products do you offer? How are they made? What type of quality goes into them? Does it represent anything as far as anything that you believe in or any causes? What will your future products look like? How do you handle customer, speaking with your customers and your messaging? All that stuff plays into your branding, and that will tell a story, and it will help bring buyers along and buy from you and know, like, and trust you. But it will also help you with the vision of your company. You should look at your Etsy shop as not only a hobby. You should look at it as a business. But your business also is not just products. Your business is your brand, tells the story. It's the lifeblood. Your brand kind of should have a life of its own, and that should help you lay out a vision for not only now but the future, and where you're taking your brand, and what you're going to offer in the future, what you're going to do. So lay that out first, or at least have a loose idea of it. You're going to probably pivot a little bit and change as you go down the road and figure out what's selling, what's not selling. Maybe you're expanding your interests. You niche down or niche up. So there's a lot of different things that you're going to do, but at least have that vision and the plan for your brand and what it represents going into it, so you are not kind of all over the place and you have a direction to go and a target to shoot at. That would be my suggestion for you. But a lot of people don't want to take the time to do that. It's not fun. It's not exciting. They just want to get out listings and try to make sales and try to make money. But there's a lot more to it than that, and you'll have a lot more success if you figure out this stuff early on. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is have a plan for your customer service issues. Well, just customer service in general, how you're going to respond and what policies you're going to have as far as returns and exchanges, and then customer service issues, because there's not always going to be issues, but you will have issues. So how are you going to handle complaints or bad reviews or people that are ticked off? Etsy's pretty good. That's why I love selling on Etsy, because most of the buyers are super understanding, super positive, pleasant people. But there are going to be always a few people that you can't please, or a few people that just come at you right away and you're like, oh man, this person is inconsolable. So have a plan in place, know your policies, know your procedures. You should have them in the policy section anyways, especially for returns and exchanges, but be willing to make exceptions, because like I said, some people are going to be really upset no matter what, no matter if it's a policy or not. So you may want to bend your policies for those people, just because sometimes it's just not worth a bad review, especially early on. And even if you do get a bad review, have a plan in place to reach out to that person to try and fix it. I've done previous, I've had previous podcasts and topics on bad reviews and how to prevent them and how to fix them. So go back and check those out. But just have that plan in place. I know it's not fun to talk about. You don't want to think about that stuff happening. But if you don't know, you know what I mean? If you don't have a plan, you don't know what you're going to do, then it makes things a lot more stressful and a lot more difficult. So try to avoid that by laying that stuff out in the beginning. All right. So the last one I'll talk about is shop sections matter. Many new sellers focus only on listings and photos and all that good stuff, because the listings are where the rubber meets the road. That's what people buy. And they forget that their shop sections matter. And it ties right back to what I was talking about before with branding. Make sure your shop tells a story. You should put effort into your shop sections, how it looks, how it feels. It should be concise. It should have a nice flow to it. It shouldn't be choppy. It shouldn't be incomplete. All that stuff builds confidence in your shop, in your company, in your brand, and in your products. It all flows down to your listing. So you want it all to be cohesive and not seem incomplete or just thrown together. And it's one of those things that you can tidy up as you go. You can clean things up, change stuff as you go, but make sure you're going into it and putting effort into your shop sections, because that's your storefront. That's how it looks. If you're selling a beat up junker car that has a really nice inside, the inside is pristine, but the outside has a bunch of dents. It's all rusted. People probably aren't even going to look at the inside. That doesn't matter. So make sure that both the inside and outside, both your shop sections and your listings are good. They flow together. They are complete. It'll just help build confidence in what you're doing and what you're selling, and people will be more amped to buy from you, more trusting to buy from you, because you want to build that confidence in everything that you're doing. That's it, guys. Those are the 5 boring but important things that I think you need to know about when selling on Etsy. Maybe you've thought about some of those, maybe you haven't, but I would give it a little bit more thought. Hopefully it'll just help you move forward in your business a little bit easier, avoid any pitfalls, because there is a lot that you have to avoid, but just plan for that stuff, take action on it as usual, and it'll make your selling a little bit easier for you, because that's what I want for you. It's just because I've had a lot of frustrations, a lot of things that I've learned along the way, but I'm here now, hopefully, to help you avoid the same pitfalls, the same mistakes that I kind of fell into early on, because I didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I hopefully have figured it out now, and I am happy to help you guys out and bring these things to your attention as well. But yeah, like I talked about earlier in the show, if you guys need more help, if you guys need a roadmap, a success roadmap, you want to join an awesome community that's pulling together, has the same goals, that wants to grow their Etsy business, I would implore you to join the Handmade and Beyond community. There's over 50 courses and growing in the Etsy success roadmap, if I can talk about it, if I could say it rather, to help you strategize and implement things in your business to build a solid business foundation for now and in the future. We also do live monthly coaching calls to help you guys get your questions answered, do deep dives in your shop, do critiques, talk about strategy, anything that you guys need help with. And then there's also the community where you can get any question answered at any point in time. You know, post success stories, post goals, post action items, anything you guys need help with. I'm in the community every single day helping members of the Handmade and Beyond community with their businesses. And I want to help you guys too. You just got to jump in, take the next step, invest in your business, and get ready to grow it for now and in the future. And I want to help you be able to do that with all the resources that are in there. There is a link below. You guys can take advantage, join for 30 days free, test drive everything. I want you to be able to see it, test drive it before staying. But I know if you stay, you will continue to build momentum and build success. My most successful members have been with me for some time, because it does take a while. Selling on Etsy is a journey to implement things, make changes, learn from those things, and then implement new strategies over months and years to grow your business into a solid business, something that you can be proud of, something that will give you whatever the goals that you may have, extra income, maybe you want to do it full time, whatever your goals may be. I want to help you get there with the Handmade and Beyond community. So hope to see you guys in there. If not, I'll be back next week. Either way, another awesome episode for you guys. Have an awesome rest of your day.